Summer in North Dakota means a lot of outdoor barbecues, and with that comes a lot of extra greasy snacks and calories. New this morning, Emily Medallan is live with a dietitian with a few ways that we can cut down on the not-so-healthy part of cookouts. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Tim. Yes, I'm here with Teresa Vetter. She's a dietitian at Sanford Health. Teresa, thanks so much for joining us this morning. So I know, we all love a good grill out with friends and family when it's so nice out like it has been. But when they start to add up a little bit throughout the summer, how can that have a negative impact on our health?
Right. So the summer, we want to be outside. It's so nice. It's warm out. We're generally doing more things too, whether we're playing sports or being outside with our families. We're exuding a lot more energy than we are sometimes even in the winter months. So it's really important for us to make sure we're getting good, healthy options, fueling our body right, and listening to that too when we are outside.
Absolutely. So I know you have 4 solid tips that we can keep in mind when we're going to these kind of events or hosting these kind of events. So talk to me about those 4 tips you have for us.
Right. So the first main one is kind of, if we're using a grill, making sure we know that it's not just for meat. We can, instead of having a burger, we can use portobello mushrooms or maybe a cauliflower steak. And if that's too out there, we can also use ground chicken or ground turkey for a burger instead. And if having those beef patties is something that is usually a staple at our parties, changing it and making sure we're using the leanest beef we can possible, and also maybe taking half of it out and putting half of it with mashed beans. Kidney or black usually works the best. And the texture doesn't change all that much. They still look the same, and it's upping the fiber and lowering our calories and fat.
Absolutely. And it still tastes good.
And it still tastes good. And sometimes you can't even tell, especially if you have kids, they're not going to know the difference at all. And the other one is making sure when we're at the store, if we're choosing those condiments, looking at the back of the label and being a detective. They can be hidden sources of added sugar, fat, and salt. Making our own is kind of the best way to go. Sometimes it's not always the fastest option, but if we're making a salad, choosing maybe some olive oil and vinegar, mustard, even if you want something sweet, a little bit of maple syrup, and making it ourselves is a good way to making sure we're knowing exactly what we're putting in our body versus just buying it at the store.
Yes, definitely.
And then the last 2 tips kind of go together. It's making sure that we're choosing nice, colorful things, especially for our desserts. So instead of going with a cake or a brownie, I like to take peaches, for example, and I open it up and put them on the grill for a couple seconds, get the sugars to come out, take a little bit of vanilla Greek yogurt, add some granola, even chocolate syrup or caramel or something on the top. It gives a nice, flavorful dessert and also keeps it a lot healthier than the other options we would have probably chose.
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier, and I've still been thinking about it. It sounds so good. So we're just about out of time, but quickly, is it a lot of work or extra money to make these kind of adjustments?
It's really not, and when you go to the grocery store, you can kind of see that if you start to look. Sometimes if we're looking at white buns versus whole wheat buns, you can find a good option that's about the same price, and then you're getting better nutrition that way.
All right, good to keep in mind. Teresa, thank you so much for joining us this morning. These are good things to keep in mind as we head into the weekend. It's going to be beautiful out, so I think I'm gonna start keeping this in mind when I go shopping. All right, thanks, Teresa.
Thank you.
Tim?
Great tips. Thanks very much, Teresa. Well, that takes us to our question of the day on Facebook, asking if you plan to do much grilling outdoors in the summer months. Not a huge shock to see the vast majority. 85% say yes, they will be out grilling. 15% say no. So for those 85%, maybe try some of those tips that Teresa just gave us.